The alarm didn't wake Captain Day. Something else did. A feeling. A presence. His eyes opened in the darkness of his quarters aboard the Constellation. The ship hummed with its usual nighttime sounds. Everything seemed normal, but someone was in his room. Day's hand moved slowly toward the weapon under his pillow. His heart pounded. The ship's security was the best in the fleet. No one could get past the locks, the cameras, the sensors, yet someone was here. He could feel them watching. "Don't bother with the gun," a woman's voice said from the shadows. "I didn't come here to kill you." Not yet, anyway. The lights came on suddenly. Day sat up fast, his weapon raised. Then he froze. Standing at the foot of his bed was a ghost. Or at least someone who should have been dead. She wore strange armor made from materials he didn't recognize. Alien metals mixed with leather and bone. Her dark hair was tied back tight. Her face was harder than he remembered, scarred, changed, but it was definitely her. "Hana," Day whispered. His gun hand trembled. "That's impossible. You're dead. We left you on Carvos 9 3 years ago." "You left me to die," Hana corrected him. Her voice was cold and calm. "But I didn't die, Captain. Surprise." Day's mind raced. The evacuation from Carvos 9 had been chaos. Alien creatures attacking from all sides. The planet falling apart beneath them. Command had ordered immediate departure. They'd done a head count. Hana was missing. They'd searched for 10 minutes. Only 10 minutes. Then they'd left. He'd written the report himself. One casualty. Officer Hana, missing, presumed dead. How? Day asked. How did you survive? That planet was a death trap. The creatures, the environment, everything was trying to kill us. Everything was trying to kill me, Hana said. You all got to leave. I had to stay and figure it out. She stepped closer. The armor she wore made soft clicking sounds. Do you want to know what I learned, Captain? I learned that humans can adapt to anything when they have to. I learned what real survival means. And I learned who really gave the order to leave me behind. The evacuation order came from command. Day said quickly. From Admiral Soman herself. I had no choice. Everyone always has a choice, Hana replied. She was right next to his bed now. Close enough that he could see the scars on her arms. Strange marks. Deliberate cuts arranged in patterns. You chose to follow orders. You chose not to look for me longer. You chose to believe I was dead rather than captured or hiding. Day lowered his weapon. Something in her eyes stopped him. Not fear, not exactly, but a recognition that shooting her wouldn't help, wouldn't change anything. How did you get on my ship? He asked instead. I'm not just the same officer you left behind, Hana said. A small smile crossed her face. Not a happy smile. 3 years on a death world changes a person. I learned things, stole things, made friends with species you've never heard of. Getting past your security was easy compared to surviving what I survived. The door to Day's quarters burst open. Security guards rushed in, weapons ready. They stopped when they saw Hana standing calmly beside the captain's bed. Sir, are you all right? The lead guard asked. We detected an unauthorized presence but couldn't locate the source until now. Stand down, Day ordered. He stood up slowly, keeping his eyes on Hana. This is Officer Hana. She was part of our crew 3 years ago. The one from Carvos 9? Another guard whispered. But she's supposed to be dead. Rumors of my death were greatly exaggerated, Hana said dryly. Now, Captain, we need to talk. Alone. Or in front of your whole crew. Your choice. But we are going to talk. Day looked at his guards. Leave us. But stay outside. And get Lieutenant Yuna and Engineer Taeyang up here. Now. The guards hesitated but obeyed. The door closed behind them with a soft hiss. Why are you here, Hana? Day asked quietly. Revenge? Justice? What do you want? I want you to understand what happened, Hana said. She sat down in his desk chair without invitation. She moved like a predator. Confident. Dangerous. I want you to know that Carvos 9 wasn't an accident. The bad intel that sent us there. The sudden evacuation order. My convenient disappearance. It was all planned. That's insane, Day said. Who would plan something like that? People who see humanity as a threat, Hana replied. People who wanted to make us look weak, incompetent. People who profit from chaos. She pulled a small device from her armor. I brought proof. Names, dates, communications, everything. The door opened again. Lieutenant Yuna rushed in, still in her sleep clothes. Her eyes went wide when she saw Hana. Oh my God, Yuna breathed. Hana, is that really you? Tears filled Yuna's eyes. She moved forward like she wanted to hug Hana, but something in the other woman's posture made her stop. "It's me," Hana said. Her voice softened just slightly. "Changed, but still me. Engineer Taeyang arrived next." He was a big man, always calm, always practical, but even he looked shocked. "This isn't possible," Taeyang said. "We scanned that planet. No human life signs." "I learned to hide," Hana said simply. "I learned a lot of things." She held up her scarred arms. "See these marks? They're kill counts. Vahre tradition. Each line represents one of their warriors I defeated in single combat. There are 12 lines." The room went silent. Everyone knew about the Varine. They were hunters, predators, the most dangerous fighters in known space. "You killed 12 Varine?" Day asked slowly. "Alone?" "I didn't have much choice," Hana said. "It was adapt or die. I chose to adapt. I chose to survive. And now I'm choosing to expose the people who put me there." She looked directly at Day. "The question is, Captain, will you help me, or will you try to stop me?" Day sat down heavily on his bed. 3 years. 3 years he'd carried the guilt of leaving her behind. 3 years of nightmares about what might have happened to her, and now she was here, alive, changed into something fierce and unbreakable. "Tell me everything," he said finally. "Start from the beginning." Hana nodded slowly. "It's not a pleasant story, Captain, but you need to hear it. You all need to hear it." She looked at Yuna and Taeyang. "Because when I'm done, you're going to have to decide whose side you're on, and that choice will change everything." Outside the window, stars moved slowly past. The ship continued its journey through space. But inside that small room, something was beginning. A reckoning, a revelation, a truth that had been buried for 3 years. And Hana, the woman who should have been dead, was ready to dig it all up. Hana stood in the center of the conference room. Around her sat most of the constellation's senior crew. Captain Day had called them all together. Some looked curious. Some looked suspicious. Most looked uncomfortable. 3 years ago you left me on Carvos 9, Hana began. Her voice was steady, calm, like she was giving a normal mission report. "I'm going to tell you what happened after that. Some of it will be hard to hear, but you need to know." She activated a holographic display. An image of Carvos 9 appeared, a dark planet covered in thick forests and deep caves. "When the evacuation order came, I was scouting the eastern ridge," Hana said. "My radio was damaged in a fall. I didn't hear the order until it was too late. By the time I reached the landing zone, the ship was already lifting off. I screamed. I fired my weapon into the air. I did everything I could to get your attention." Lieutenant Yuna made a small sound, like a sob caught in her throat. "But you didn't see me," Hana continued. "Or maybe you did and couldn't stay. Either way, I watched the constellation leave atmosphere. I watched it jump to light speed, and then I was alone. The hologram changed to show the dense forest. At first, I tried to survive using standard protocols. I built a shelter. I rationed my supplies. I activated my emergency beacon and waited for rescue." Hana's expression hardened. No one came. Days passed. Then weeks. My supplies ran out. The beacon battery died, and that's when I realized the truth. No one was coming because no one was looking. "We thought you were dead," Day said quietly. "The scans showed no human life signs." "I know," Hana said, "because I learned to block the scans. But I'm getting ahead of myself." She changed the hologram again. This time it showed a massive creature. 8 legs, armored hide, glowing eyes. Carvos 9 wasn't just a hostile planet. It was a game preserve, a hunting ground for the Varine. Murmurs went around the room. Everyone knew the Varine. They were legends, warriors who hunted the deadliest prey in the galaxy for sport and honor. "I encountered my first Varine hunter in week 3, Hana said. "He found me scavenging for food. He was 7 feet tall, armed with weapons I'd never seen. He spoke perfect English." She paused. "He told me I was the prey, that I had been placed on this planet specifically for the hunt. That humans were being tested to see if we were worthy opponents." "That's insane," Medical Officer Minji said. "The Varine don't hunt sentient species without consent. It's against their code." "Usually," Hana agreed. "But someone had paid them. Someone had arranged for me to be left behind. Someone had told them that I had volunteered for the hunt. The Varine believed they were honoring me with a warrior's death." She changed the hologram once more. Now it showed a crude camp. Weapons made from bone and metal. Traps made from vine and stone. I didn't give them a warrior's death, Hana said. I gave them a survivor's fight. I ran, I hid. I learned the forest better than they did. I studied their patterns, their weapons, their tactics, and slowly I started to turn the hunt around. You hunted them? Pilot Jiho asked. He sounded impressed and horrified at the same time. I had no choice, Hana replied. It was kill or be killed. The first one I got with a trap. A pit covered with leaves. He fell in, broke his leg. I used his own weapon to finish him. I took his armor, his tools, his communication device. She touched the strange armor she wore. This is made from pieces of 12 different Varine warriors. Each one I defeated, each one I survived. Engineer Taeyang leaned forward. How did you learn to use their technology? Trial and error, Hana said simply. And desperation. The Varine respect strength. After I killed the third hunter, the others started to notice. They changed their approach. They started hunting me in pairs, then in groups. But by then I'd learned too much. I knew the planet. I knew their tactics. I knew how to disappear. The hologram showed a series of images. Hana in different locations, different seasons, building more complex shelters, creating better weapons, looking more and more like a wild creature than a human officer. In the second year, something changed, Hana continued. A Varine elder came to the planet, not to hunt me, to talk. He'd heard about the human who wouldn't die, the prey that became a predator. He wanted to meet me. What did he want? Day asked. To test me properly, Hana said. He challenged me to single combat. No tricks, no traps, just skill against skill. I accepted because I didn't have a choice. If I refused, the Varine would hunt me forever. She pulled up her sleeve, showing more of the scarred patterns. I won, barely. And when I did, he gave me a name in their language. It translates roughly to the unkillable prey. What did that mean? Yuna asked. It meant I'd earned their respect, Hana replied. The elder told me the truth about how I came to be on Karvas 9. He told me about the conspiracy, about the people who wanted humanity to fail. He was angry. The Varine had been tricked, used. They don't like being used. She pulled out the small device she'd shown Day earlier. He gave me this. It contains all the communications between the conspirators and the Varine. Proof that my abandonment was planned. Proof that there are forces working against humanity's rise in the galaxy. The room erupted in noise. Everyone started talking at once. Day raised his hand for silence. Who? He demanded. Who did this? The Galactic Trade Consortium, Hana said. The name hung in the air like poison. The consortium was powerful, ancient, rich beyond measure. They see humanity as a threat to their control. They've been working to undermine us for years. My abandonment was just one move in a larger game. And Admiral Soman? Day asked quietly. Was she part of it? Hana's expression softened for the first time. I don't know. The evidence suggests she was compromised. Maybe threatened. Maybe bribed. Maybe both. But the evacuation order came from her. That much is clear. Yuna was crying openly now. I'm so sorry, Hana. We should have looked longer. We should have tried harder. Maybe, Hana said. But I'm not here for apologies. I'm here because I need help. The Varine elder gave me passage off Karvas 9. He helped me track Day across half the galaxy. But exposing the consortium will take more than one survivor with a grudge. It will take proof. It will take witnesses. It will take people willing to risk everything for the truth. She looked around the room, met each person's eyes. The Varine taught me something important, Hana continued. They taught me that honor matters more than survival. That truth matters more than comfort. That justice matters more than fear. She paused. So I'm asking you, will you help me? Or will you abandon me again? Silence filled the room, heavy, uncomfortable. Taeyang spoke first. I'll help. I was the one who processed the faulty intel that sent us to Karvas 9. I always suspected something was wrong. If the consortium was behind it, they need to pay. I'm in, Jiho said immediately. Someone needs to stand up to those bastards. One by one, the officers agreed. Even the ones who looked scared. Even the ones who clearly thought this was a terrible idea. Finally, only Day remained. He stood up slowly, walked to where Hana stood. He looked tired, old, guilty. I'm sorry, he said. I'm sorry we left you. I'm sorry I didn't look longer. I'm sorry I believed you were dead instead of fighting to find you. Hana studied him for a long moment. Your apology doesn't change what happened. But your help might change what happens next. So yes, I accept, Day nodded. Then we'll do this together. We'll expose the consortium. We'll clear your name. We'll make sure no one else gets abandoned like you were. Good, Hana said. A small smile crossed her face. The first real smile anyone had seen. Then let's get to work. Because the consortium already knows I'm coming, and they won't go down without a fight. The data core sat in the center of the briefing table, small, innocent-looking, but inside it held secrets that could shake the entire galaxy. Hana connected it to the ship's secure computer. Everything I'm about to show you is verified, cross-referenced, confirmed through multiple sources. The Varine were very thorough. Images began to appear on the main screen. Messages, financial transfers, video recordings, all marked with consortium seals. This started 5 years ago, Hana explained. The consortium noticed humanity was advancing too fast, too aggressive. We were making alliances, building ships, expanding territory. They saw us as a threat to their economic control. Captain Day studied the first message. It was from a consortium executive to a council member. The words were polite, but the meaning was clear. Humanity needed to be stopped. They couldn't attack us directly, Hana continued. That would unite the other species against them. So they chose a different approach. Sabotage. They started small. Delayed shipments. Lost messages. Technical failures that seemed like accidents. The screen changed to show a series of incidents. A colony ship that arrived late. A trade deal that fell through. A diplomatic mission that ended in confusion. None of these things seemed connected, Hana said. But they were. All of them were planned. All of them were designed to make humanity look unreliable, incompetent, not ready for galactic leadership. Lieutenant Yuna pulled up another file. This one shows communication between the consortium and the Varine. They paid a huge amount to use Karvos 9 as a hunting ground, and they specifically requested that a human officer be placed there. They wanted a public failure, Hana said bitterly. A rescue mission gone wrong. A promising officer lost. It would make humans look like we couldn't protect our own people. That we were too weak for dangerous missions. Engineer Taeyang found something in the data. Here. This is the faulty intel about Karvos 9. It came through official channels, but the source was a consortium asset. They made the planet seem less dangerous than it was, made it seem like a routine survey mission. Which is why Command approved it, Day said slowly. Understanding dawned on his face. They trusted the source. Had no reason not to. Exactly, Hana confirmed. The consortium has infiltrated multiple organizations. They have people everywhere, including in our own command structure. The screen changed again. This time it showed Admiral Soman. She was in her office, talking to someone off-screen. The timestamp was 3 days before the Karvos 9 mission. Watch, Hana said quietly. The video played. Admiral Soman looked stressed, tired. A voice spoke to her from beyond the camera. You understand what you need to do. The evacuation order must come quickly. No time for a proper search. I don't like this, Soman said in the recording. Leaving people behind goes against everything we stand for. You don't have a choice, the voice replied. Unless you want the coordinates to Outpost 7 to become public. Unless you want everyone to know about the civilians there. The ones who would die if certain people found them. Soman's face went pale. That's blackmail. That's reality, the voice said. Issue the evacuation order when the time comes. Make it quick. 1 casualty is acceptable to save hundreds. You know it is, the video ended. The room was silent. Day felt sick. They threatened civilians. Blackmailed an admiral. All to leave one person behind? Not just anyone, Hana said. Me specifically. I'd been flagged by consortium intelligence as a rising star. Someone who might become important. They wanted to stop that before it started. And they wanted to use my death to damage human credibility. Medical Officer Minji looked shaken, so Admiral Samin made an impossible choice. Save one person or save hundreds. Yes, Hana said, which is why I'm not sure what to think about her. Part of me understands. Part of me will never forgive. Both things can be true. Pilot Jiho pulled up another set of files. There's more here. Other incidents. Other species targeted. The consortium has been playing this game for decades. Humans are just their latest target. The evidence kept mounting. Page after page, file after file, a conspiracy that went deeper than anyone had imagined. The question is, what do we do with this information? Day asked. If we release it publicly, the consortium will deny everything. They'll claim the data is fake. They have enough influence to bury the story. Unless we make it impossible to ignore, Hannah said. She pulled up a new file. This contains the locations of 3 consortium black sites, places where they keep records of all their operations. If we can raid even one of them and get physical evidence, combined with what I already have, they won't be able to deny anything. That's suicide, Taiyang protested. Those sites will be heavily guarded. Military-grade security. We'd never make it in. Not with a frontal assault, Hannah agreed. But I didn't survive 3 years on a death world by being stupid. I have a plan, she explained her strategy. It was risky, dangerous, required perfect timing and a lot of luck. But it could work. Day listened carefully. He'd been a captain for 15 years. He knew tactics. He knew when a plan had a chance and when it was hopeless. This plan had a chance, barely, but a chance nonetheless. How did you learn to think like this? He asked Hannah when she finished. The Varine, she replied. They don't just hunt. They study their prey. They plan, they adapt. I learned from them. Combined their way of thinking with human creativity. The result is something new. Something they won't expect. Yuna looked worried. Even if we succeed, raiding a consortium site is an act of war. We'll be criminals, outlaws. We can never go back to normal lives. I stopped having a normal life 3 years ago, Hannah said flatly. But you're right. Anyone who helps me will be taking a huge risk. Which is why I'm giving everyone a choice. You can help. Or you can pretend this conversation never happened. No judgment either way. No one moved. No one spoke. The weight of the decision hung heavy in the air. Finally, young Ensign Hyun spoke up. He was the youngest crew member. Fresh out of academy. I'll help. I joined the fleet because I believed in something. Believed humans could make a difference. If we walk away from this, what does that say about us? It says we're smart enough to avoid suicide missions, someone muttered. Or it says we're cowards, Hyun shot back. The consortium thinks they can manipulate us, control us, decide our future. I say we prove them wrong. His words stirred something in the room. Others began nodding, speaking up, agreeing to help. Day watched it happen, watched his crew transform from cautious professionals to committed rebels. He should stop this, should order them to stand down, should think about their careers and their lives, but he didn't. Because Hyun was right. Because some things mattered more than safety. All right, Day said finally. We do this. We raid the black site. We get the evidence. We expose the consortium. He looked at Hannah. You lead the operation. You've earned that right. I'll support you however I can. Hannah nodded slowly. Respect showed in her eyes. Thank you, Captain. Call me Day, he said. We're all equal in this now. No ranks, no hierarchy. Just humans fighting for the truth. Hannah almost smiled. All right, Day. Let's make them regret leaving me on that planet. The planning began immediately. They studied the layout of the nearest black site, memorized guard patterns, identified weaknesses, prepared equipment. Every detail mattered. One mistake could doom them all. Hours passed. Then days. The crew worked around the clock. Some started having doubts, started wondering if they were making a terrible mistake. But every time someone wavered, they looked at Hannah, at the scars on her arms, at the determination in her eyes, at the living proof that humans could survive anything, and they kept working. Finally, everything was ready. The constellation changed course, headed toward consortium territory, toward danger, toward a confrontation that would change everything. In her quarters, Hannah sat alone. She checked her weapons, her armor, her equipment. Everything was perfect, ready. She thought about Karvas 9, about the 3 years of hell, about every Varine she'd fought, every night she'd almost died, every moment she'd wanted to give up. She'd survived all of it, and now she would use what she'd learned to fight back. The consortium had made a mistake when they left her on that planet. They'd wanted to break humanity's spirit. Instead, they'd created something stronger. They'd created a survivor who would never stop fighting, and now that survivor was coming for them. Station Helios orbited a dead star. It was a trading post, a meeting place for dozens of species. Neutral territory where deals were made and secrets were traded. The constellation docked without incident. To everyone watching, they were just another ship on a routine supply run. No one knew they were preparing for war. Hana walked through the station's main market with Day beside her. She wore civilian clothes now, tried to blend in, but her eyes never stopped moving. Always watching, always ready. You're making people nervous, Day said quietly. You move like you're expecting an attack. I am, Hana replied. The consortium knows I escaped Karvos 9. They know I'm gathering evidence. They won't just let me walk around freely. You think they'll try something here? On neutral ground? I think they'll try something everywhere, Hana said. They have too much to lose. They reached a shop that sold technical equipment. Inside, Taeyang was negotiating with the owner. He needed special scanning equipment for the raid, the kind that wasn't legal in most systems. Lieutenant Yuna was in another section of the station, meeting with an informant, someone who claimed to have information about consortium security protocols. Pilot Jiho was checking on the ship, making sure it was ready for a quick departure. Everyone had a job. Everyone was exposed, vulnerable. Hana hated it. Hated splitting up the team. But they had no choice. Time was running out. The longer they waited, the more likely the consortium would find them. Contact Yuna, Hana said suddenly. Tell her to abort the meeting. Something feels wrong. Day looked around. I don't see anything unusual. That's what worries me, Hana said. Station this size this time of day, there should be more activity. More noise. It's too quiet. Dai pulled out his communicator. Tried to reach Yuna, no response. He tried again. Still nothing. Communications are jammed, he said. His face went pale. It's a trap. Hana was already moving, running toward where Yuna had gone. People jumped out of her way. Confused, alarmed, she didn't care. She reached the meeting location, a small cafe in a side corridor. Tables were overturned. Drinks spilled on the floor. Signs of a struggle. Yuna was gone. Damn it, Hana growled. She knelt down, examined the scene, found traces of sedative on one of the chairs. They took her. Professional job, fast and clean. Who has her? Dee demanded. The consortium? Probably hired help, Hana said. They won't kill her. Not yet, she's bait. They want us to come after her. Then we go after her, Day said immediately. That's what they want, Hana replied. We walk into whatever trap they've set and they take all of us. We can't just abandon her. Hana stood up, grabbed Day by the shirt, pulled him close. Listen to me. I know what it feels like to be left behind. I know what it feels like to be bait. But rushing in stupid gets everyone killed. We need to be smart about this, Day pulled away. Then what do you suggest? Hana's mind raced. The Varine had taught her to think like a hunter, to turn traps into opportunities, to use an enemy's expectations against them. We let them think we're taking the bait, she said slowly. But we change the game, make them react to us instead of the other way around. She activated her communicator, contacted Taeyang and Jiho, gave them quick instructions. They protested but followed orders. Then Hana did something unexpected. She walked into the center of the market, climbed onto a vendor's platform, made herself visible to everyone. I'm looking for the people who took Lieutenant Yuna, she announced loudly. Her voice carried across the market. I know you're watching. I know you're listening. So here's my offer. Let her go and I'll come with you. Isn't that what you really want? Day tried to pull her down. What are you doing? Trust me, Hana whispered. Then louder, you have 60 seconds to respond. After that, I disappear and you never find me again. And trust me, I'm very good at disappearing. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then a voice came over the station's communication system. Dock 7, Level 3, come alone or the lieutenant dies. Hana jumped down from the platform, started walking toward Dock 7. You can't go alone, Day said, following her. It's a trap. Of course it's a trap, Hana replied. But traps work both ways. She pulled out a small device, showed it to Day. When the Varine Elder gave me passage off Karvos 9, he gave me other things too. Technology, weapons, things the consortium has never seen. What does that do? Day asked. Watch and learn, Hana said. They reached Dock 7, a cargo bay filled with containers and equipment. Perfect place for an ambush. Yuna was tied to a chair in the center of the bay, conscious but drugged. 4 armed figures stood around her. They wore masks. Professional mercenaries, let her go, Hana called out. I'm here like you asked. Weapons down, one of the mercenaries ordered. On your knees. Hands behind your head, Hana complied slowly. set down her visible weapons, knelt, but her hand never left the small device. The mercenaries approached cautiously. They weren't stupid. They'd heard the rumors about the woman who survived Carvos 9. They knew she was dangerous. One of them reached for Hana. That's when she activated the device. Light exploded through the bay, bright, blinding. But Hana had closed her eyes. She'd known it was coming. The mercenaries screamed, covered their faces. Completely blinded, Hana moved like lightning, grabbed her weapons, took down the first mercenary with a strike to the throat, the second with a kick to the knee, the third with a disarming technique she'd learned from the Varine. The fourth one managed to fire his weapon, but Hana was already moving. The shot went wide. She closed the distance, fought him hand to hand. He was good, trained, professional, but Hana had fought Varine warriors, had survived a death world. This was nothing. She won in less than 30 seconds. Day rushed in, started untying Yuna. "Are you okay?" "Drugged," Yuna mumbled. "But alive." Taeyang and Jiho arrived with the rest of the team. They secured the unconscious mercenaries, searched them for information. "These aren't consortium employees," Taeyang said. "They're independent contractors. The consortium hired them to maintain deniability." "Smart," Hana said, "but not smart enough." She pulled a data chip from one mercenary's pocket. They always keep proof of payment. Insurance in case their employers try to betray them. She plugged the chip into her scanner, smiled coldly. "Perfect. More evidence. More connections. More proof." "That was incredible," Jiho said to Hana. "The way you fought. I've never seen anything like it." "The Varine taught me that fighting isn't about strength," Hana explained. "It's about adaptation. Reading your opponent. Using their expectations against them. These mercenaries expected a human officer. They got a Varine-trained survivor. They weren't ready for that." Medical Officer Minji arrived to check on Yuna. "She'll be fine. The drugs will wear off in a few hours." "We need to leave," Day said. "Now, before more trouble shows up." "Agreed," Hana said. "But this proves something important. The consortium is scared. They're making mistakes, getting desperate. That means we're winning." They made it back to the constellation without further incident. The ship departed from Station Helios immediately, jumped to a remote system, somewhere safe. In the medical bay, Yuna recovered slowly. The drugs made her emotional. Tears kept falling. "I'm sorry," she kept saying. "I walked right into their trap. Put everyone in danger. You did your job," Hana said gently. She sat beside Yuna's bed. "They were always going to come after us. Better that it happened when we were ready." "You came for me," Yuna said. "You didn't leave me behind." "No," Hana agreed. "I didn't, because I know what that feels like. And I wouldn't wish it on anyone." Later in the corridor outside medical, Dai found Hana standing alone. She was looking out a window at the stars. "You were right," he said, "about everything. About the consortium being desperate. About turning their trap into our advantage. About not rushing and stupid." "I had good teachers," Hana replied. "The Varine don't believe in fair fights. They believe in winning. And they taught me that survival requires more than just strength. It requires thinking, planning, understanding your enemy better than they understand themselves." "Is that what you're doing?" Day asked. "Understanding the consortium?" "I'm trying," Hana said. "They think like predators, like hunters. They choose targets they think are weak, isolated, easy to pick off." She turned to look at Day. "But they made a mistake with me. They thought leaving me on Carvos 9 would break me. Instead, it taught me that humans don't break. We adapt, we overcome, we survive things that should kill us." "You're not the same person I left behind 3 years ago," Day observed. "No," Hana agreed. "I'm not. That person died on Carvos 9. I'm what survived. What grew from that experience? Something harder, stronger, more dangerous." She paused. "Is that a good thing or a bad thing?" "I don't know," Day admitted. "But I'm glad you're on our side." Hana almost smiled. "Me too." They stood in silence for a while. Two people connected by guilt and circumstance. By abandonment and reunion. By the past and an uncertain future. Finally, Hana spoke again. "The raid on the black site happens in 3 days. After that, there's no going back. Last chance for anyone to change their minds." "No one's changing their minds," Day said firmly. "We're all in this together now. For better or worse." "Then let's make sure it's for better," Hana said. "Because the consortium won't give us a second chance." The black site hung in deep space, no planets nearby, no trade routes, nothing but darkness and stars. Perfect place to hide secrets. The constellation approached slowly, running dark. All non-essential systems shut down. To any sensors, they looked like space debris, just another piece of junk floating through the void. Inside the ship, the strike team prepared. 12 people total. Hana led them. Day was her second. Everyone else had volunteered. "Remember the plan," Hana said. She stood in the cargo bay wearing her Varine armor. "We go in fast. Hit the central data core. Download everything. Get out before reinforcements arrive. 30 minutes. That's all we have." "What if something goes wrong?" Ensign Hyun asked. He looked nervous but determined. "Then we adapt," Hana replied. "The Varine have a saying. Plans are wishes. Reality is what you make of chaos. Expect things to go wrong. Be ready to change tactics on the fly." She checked her weapons one last time, a mix of human and Varine technology, the best of both worlds. 5 minutes to breach point, Pilot Jiho called from the bridge. The team moved to the airlock. Hana went first. Always first. She'd earned that right through 3 years of survival. No one argued. The constellation released them on the dark side of the station. They drifted across empty space using small thrusters. Silent. Invisible. Hana reached the station's hull first, placed a cutting device exactly where Taeyang had calculated, the weakest point in the armor. The device activated, began burning through metal. It took 3 minutes, 3 very long minutes floating in space, exposed, vulnerable. But no alarm sounded. No guards appeared. The consortium believed their black site was hidden, safe, secret. They were wrong. The hull opened. Hana pulled herself inside. The team followed. They were in a maintenance corridor, dark, quiet, perfect. "Taeyang, you're up," Hana whispered into her communicator. The engineer moved forward, accessed the station's computer system. His fingers flew across the interface. "Security is good but not perfect. I can give us a clean path to the data core. But once we access it, alarms will trigger. No way around that." "How long until reinforcements arrive after the alarm?" Day asked. "Best guess? 20 minutes. Taeyang replied. "Then we need to be faster," Hana said. "Move out. Standard formation. Watch each other's backs." They moved through the station like ghosts. Hana led them around patrols, through blind spots in the security cameras, along routes that shouldn't exist but did if you knew where to look. The Varine had taught her to see spaces differently, to find paths where others saw only walls, to turn environments into weapons. They reached the data core without firing a single shot. It sat behind a massive door. Biometric locks, code sequences, military-grade security. "This will take time," Taeyang said. He started working on the locks. "How much time?" Hana asked. 10 minutes. Maybe more. Too long. But they had no choice. Hana positioned the team in defensive positions, covering all approaches. Everyone was tense, ready. 8 minutes passed. Then 9. Taeyang was sweating. His hands shook slightly. "Almost there," he muttered. "Just one more sequence." That's when alarms started blaring. "Someone tripped a sensor," Jiho reported. "Guards are coming. Multiple contacts, armed." "Taeyang?" Hana demanded. 30 more seconds." "We don't have 30 seconds," Day shouted. He could see guards rushing down the corridor. At least 20 of them. Heavily armed. "Hold them off," Hana ordered. "Whatever it takes." The first guards rounded the corner. The team opened fire. The corridor filled with energy blasts, smoke, chaos. Hana fought like the Varine had taught her. Precise, efficient. Every shot counted. Every movement had purpose. Beside her, Day covered her flank. He was a good shot. Calm under pressure. The guilt he'd carried for 3 years had transformed into determination. "He wouldn't lose anyone else, got it," Taeyang yelled. The door opened. "Everyone inside," Hana ordered. "Seal the door behind us." The team rushed into the data core room. Taeyang sealed the door. It wouldn't hold forever, but it would buy time. The room was filled with servers, millions of files. "Decades of secrets, how do we download all of this?" Minji asked. "There's too much." "We don't need all of it," Hana said. She moved to the central terminal, pulled up the directory. "We just need the files about human operations. Everything the consortium has done to undermine us." Her fingers flew across the controls. She'd studied consortium systems for months, learned their architecture. their organization methods. She found what she needed in less than a minute. "Downloading now," she said. "This will take 5 minutes." Outside the door, guards were working to break through. Cutting tools, explosives, they were getting creative. "The door won't last 5 minutes," Day said. "Then we make it last," Hana replied. She looked at her team, saw fear in their eyes, but also courage, trust. "Listen to me. What we're doing here matters. These files will expose the consortium. We'll prove humans deserve respect. We'll save future generations from what happened to me. That's worth fighting for." The team nodded, checked their weapons, prepared for the worst. The door started to buckle. Guards were almost through. 3 more minutes, Hana said. She positioned herself between the door and the terminal. If guards broke through, they'd have to go through her first. The door exploded inward. Guards poured in. The room erupted into a firefight. Hana fought like a demon. Every lesson from Carvos 9 came flooding back. Every survival instinct, every technique the Varine had beaten into her. She wasn't just defending herself. She was defending her team. Her mission, her chance at justice. A guard got too close. Hana disarmed him, used his own weapon against him. Moved to the next target. Beside her, Hyun took a hit. Went down hard. Minji dragged him to cover. Started treating his wound. 2 minutes. Taeyang called out. Taeyang himself was hit. Shot in the shoulder. He screamed but kept working. Kept protecting the download. "I'm not leaving without this data," he growled through the pain. "Not after everything." The guards kept coming. Too many of them. The team was being overwhelmed. "We need to fall back." Someone shouted. "No!" Hana roared. "We hold this position." She was hit. Energy blast to the leg. Pain exploded through her body. She fell to one knee. But she kept fighting. Day appeared beside her. Pulled her behind cover. "You're hurt." "I've been hurt worse," Hana replied. She reloaded her weapon. Kept firing. "We're not leaving without that data. 1 minute." Taeyang called. His voice was weak. He was losing blood fast. The longest minute of their lives. Guards pressed the attack. The team was down to their last ammunition. Hyun was unconscious. Taeyang was barely functioning. Half the team was wounded. "Download complete," Taeyang gasped. He pulled the data chip from the terminal. Threw it to Hana. She caught it. Held it tight. Everything they'd fought for. Right there in her hand. "Everyone out," she ordered. "Emergency extraction now." Jiho activated the emergency beacon. The constellation would come for them. But it needed time to reach them. Time they didn't have. "Go," Hana shouted. "I'll hold them." "Not alone you won't," Day said. He stayed beside her. Firing at the guards, others stayed too. Minji, Jiho, even wounded Hyun tried to help. They fought as a unit, as a team, as humans who refused to quit. The constellation appeared outside. Fired on the station. Created confusion. Created an opening. "Move," Hana ordered. The team ran for the breach point. She and Day covered their retreat. They were the last ones out. Guards right behind them. They sealed the breach. Made it to the ship. Collapsed in the cargo bay as Jiho jumped to light speed. They'd done it. Against impossible odds. They'd actually done it. "Everyone alive?" Hana gasped. Her leg was bleeding badly. "Barely," Minji replied. She was already moving between the wounded. "Providing treatment, Taeyang?" Dee asked. "I'll live," the engineer replied. He looked pale but alive. "Got the data. That's what matters." Hana pulled out the data chip. Looked at it. Such a small thing. But it held the power to change everything. "We did it," she whispered. Then louder to the team. "We actually did it." Cheers erupted. Weak, exhausted, but genuine, they'd raided a consortium black site. Downloaded proof of the conspiracy. Survived against overwhelming odds. They'd proven that humans could do the impossible. But as the celebration died down, reality set in. They were wounded. Low on supplies. Being hunted by the most powerful organization in the galaxy. And this was only the beginning. "What happens now?" Hyun asked weakly from his stretcher. Hana looked at the data chip. Then at her team. "These people who had risked everything for the truth. Now we make sure the whole galaxy sees this," she said. "We broadcast it everywhere. Every system. Every species. We make it impossible for the consortium to hide. They'll come after us with everything they have," Dee warned. "Let them," Hana replied. Her eyes were hard as diamonds. "I survived 3 years on a death world. I survived the Varine. I'll survive the consortium too." And so will all of you. Because that's what humans do. We survive, we fight. We never give up. The team looked at her, saw the scars, the determination, the unbreakable will. And they believed her, because she was living proof that humans could survive anything. The constellation limped through space. Half its systems were damaged from the escape. The crew was exhausted, wounded, but they had the data, and that made everything worth it. Hana sat in the medical bay while Minji worked on her leg. The energy blast had burned through muscle. It hurt like hell, but she'd felt worse on Karvos 9. You need to rest, Minji said. Your body has limits even if you don't acknowledge them. I'll rest when this is over, Hana replied. She was analyzing the data they'd stolen, page after page of crimes, lies, conspiracies. Look at this. The consortium has been manipulating galactic politics for 50 years. Maybe longer. They've orchestrated wars, destroyed entire species. All for profit. That's horrible, Minji said. But it proves we were right. That what happened to you wasn't isolated. It was part of a pattern. Day entered the medical bay. He looked tired but determined. We have a problem. Long-range sensors detected 3 consortium ships heading our way. Battle cruisers. They'll be here in 6 hours. How did they find us? Hana asked. The black site must have tagged our ship during the escape, Day replied. Tracking beacon. We've been scanning for it, but these things are clever. Could be anywhere. 6 hours, Hana said. Enough time to broadcast the data? If we do it right, Day said. But once we start broadcasting, every consortium asset in the sector will know exactly where we are. It's essentially suicide, Hana stood up. Her leg barely supported her weight, but she refused to show weakness. Then we make it count. We don't just broadcast to nearby systems. We broadcast to everyone. Every major news network. Every government. Every independent station. We flood the galaxy with truth. That will take a lot of power, Taeyang said. He was listening from his own medical bed. His shoulder was bandaged. More than we have with our damaged systems. Then we find more power, Hana said. What about the emergency reactor?
Can we overcharge it?
That's dangerous, Taeyang warned. Could cause a meltdown. Everything we're doing is dangerous, Hana replied. But it's necessary. They went to work immediately. Taeyang directed repairs from his bed. Jiho rerouted power systems. Everyone who could work did work. 4 hours passed. The consortium ships were getting closer. Broadcast ready, Jiho reported. When you give the word, we'll send the data to every major communication hub in the galaxy. It'll take about 30 minutes to complete. Do it, Hana ordered. The broadcast began. Data flowed out from the constellation like a flood. Evidence, recordings, documents, all of it exposing the consortium's crimes. Within minutes, the galaxy started reacting. News networks picked up the story. Governments demanded explanations. Social networks exploded with outrage. The consortium tried to deny everything, claimed the data was fake, but there was too much. Too detailed. Too verified. It's working, Yuna said. She was monitoring the responses. People believe us. They're angry, demanding justice. The consortium ships are accelerating, Jiho warned. They'll be here in 2 hours. And there are more coming. 5 additional ships, all battle-capable. 8 ships against 1 damaged vessel. The odds were impossible. We need to run, Day said. Jump to light speed. Get as far away as possible. The broadcast isn't finished, Hana replied. We run now, we lose the chance to send everything. We stay and we die, Day said flatly. Is that what you want? To die here after everything we've accomplished? I want to finish what we started, Hana said. Her voice was hard, determined. 3 years ago you left me to die. Now I'm asking you to trust me, to believe that I know what I'm doing. Hana, Day started. I didn't survive Karvos 9 by running, Hana interrupted. I survived by fighting, by adapting, by refusing to give up. That's what we do now. We fight. Before anyone could argue, a new signal appeared on the sensors. Unknown ships approaching, Jiho said. 6 of them, large, heavily armed. He paused. They're not human. And they're not consortium. The ships appeared on screen. Dark hulls covered in tribal markings. Weapons that looked organic and technological at the same time. Vareen, Hana breathed. She recognized the designs. The patterns. Those are Vareen warships. A communication request came through. Hana accepted it. A massive figure appeared on screen. 7 feet tall, armored, scarred. the Varine elder who had helped her escape Carvos 9. Unkillable prey, the elder said. His voice was deep, resonant. You have called for justice. The Varine answer? Elder Croth, Hana said. She bowed slightly. A sign of respect. Why are you here? The consortium used us, Croth replied. Tricked us into hunting you. Dishonored our traditions. This cannot stand. We come to repay our debt, to restore our honor. The consortium has 8 battle cruisers coming, Hana warned. This will be a real fight. Good, Croth said. A fierce grin crossed his face. The Varine do not fear honorable combat. We welcome it. The Varine ships took up defensive positions around the constellation, ready to fight. Broadcast still has 15 minutes, Jiho reported. Then we hold for 15 minutes, Hana said. No matter what, the consortium ships arrived. 8 against 7. Nearly even odds. But the consortium had never fought Varine before. They were about to learn why the Varine were feared across the galaxy. The battle began immediately. Energy weapons filled space with light. Missiles streaked between ships. Shields flared and failed. The Varine fought with skill and ferocity. Each ship moved like a predator, striking, evading, coordinating perfectly. The constellation contributed what it could. Defensive fire, electronic warfare. Every damaged system pushed beyond its limits. 10 minutes left on the broadcast, Jiho called out. The ship shook from impacts. Shields at 40%. A consortium cruiser broke through the Varine line, headed straight for the constellation. They're targeting us specifically, Day said. They want to stop the broadcast. They won't succeed, Hana said. She took control of the weapon systems. Not while I'm still breathing. She fired with precision. Every shot counted. Every blast hit critical systems. The Varine had taught her to see weaknesses, to exploit vulnerabilities. The consortium cruiser was forced to divert, to defend itself, giving the Varine time to intercept. 5 minutes, Jiho shouted. 2 more consortium ships arrived. Fresh, undamaged. The battle was turning against them. Then something unexpected happened. Other ships started appearing. Not military vessels, civilian ships, transport vessels, even some small personal craft. They positioned themselves around the constellation. Not to fight, but to shield. What are they doing? Day asked. Communications flooded in. Messages from the civilian ships. They'd seen the broadcast, believed the evidence, and they were volunteering to protect the source. Hundreds of ships. Maybe thousands, all putting themselves between the constellation and the consortium fleet. This is Transport Captain Rena, one message said. We stand with you. For truth, for justice, for humanity. Mining vessel Deep Core here, another said. The consortium has exploited us for years. Time someone stood up to them. More and more messages came in. A wave of support from across the galaxy. The consortium ships hesitated. They could destroy the constellation, but they'd have to go through thousands of civilian witnesses. The political cost would be enormous. Broadcast complete, Jiho announced. Everything has been sent. The whole galaxy has the data now. Cheers erupted on the bridge. The consortium ships began to retreat. Slowly, carefully. They'd lost. Elder Croth appeared on screen again. Well fought, unkillable prey. You have proven that courage is not limited to Varine. Humans possess it too. Thank you, Elder, Hana said. We couldn't have done this without you. The debt is repaid, Croth said. Our honor is restored. But know this, the Varine will remember this day. We'll remember the human who taught us that prey can become predator, that the hunted can become the hunter. He paused. You are welcome among our people, always. The communication ended. The Varine ships departed. The civilian ships began to disperse. But before they left, they sent final messages. Support, gratitude, solidarity. We did it, Yuna whispered. We actually did it. Day pulled up the galactic news networks. Every single one was covering the scandal. The consortium was in chaos. Their leadership was being arrested. Their assets frozen. Governments were launching investigations. 50 years of conspiracy exposed in a single broadcast. There's a message coming in, Jiho said. Official channel. It's from Human Command. Hana accepted the transmission. Admiral Soman appeared on screen. She looked older, tired, broken. Officer Hana, Soman said quietly. I owe you an explanation. And an apology. I've seen the evidence, Hana replied. I know they blackmailed you. threatened civilians, put you in an impossible situation. That doesn't excuse what I did, Somin said. I left you to die. To save others, yes. But that doesn't make it right. Nothing makes it right. No, Hana agreed. Nothing does. But I understand impossible choices now. I've had to make them too. I'm resigning, Somin said, accepting exile. It's the least I can do. But before I go, I wanted you to know something. You've changed everything. The consortium is falling. Reforms are being implemented. Humanity's position in the galaxy is stronger than ever. You did that, you and your crew. We did what we had to do, Hana said. What anyone would do. No, Somin said firmly. What you did was extraordinary. You survived what should have killed you. You exposed a conspiracy that controlled the galaxy. You brought together species that had never cooperated before. You've become a symbol. A legend, she paused. The galaxy had changed. The consortium collapsed completely. Its leaders faced trial. Its assets were distributed to the species it had exploited. Reforms swept through galactic government. New laws, new protections, new oversight. Humanity's reputation soared. No longer seen as newcomers or threats. Now seen as allies, as equals. As the species that had exposed corruption and fought for justice. And at the center of it all was Hana. She stood on the observation deck of her new ship. The Resilience. Built specifically for her. A gift from grateful governments and species across the galaxy. It was smaller than the Constellation. More maneuverable. Designed for both exploration and combat. Perfect for what came next, Captain, a voice said behind her. Day. Except he wasn't a captain anymore. He was her first officer. Her second in command. The crew is assembled. Ready for your speech. Hana smiled slightly. Speech. She'd never been good at speeches. But circumstances had changed her. Made her into something she'd never expected to become. A leader. They walked to the main briefing room together. The crew of the Resilience waited there. Some were from the Constellation, Yuna, Taeyang, Jiho, Minji, Hyun. Others were new. Volunteers who wanted to serve under the legendary unkillable prey. Thank you all for coming, Hana began. I know the last 6 months have been difficult. We've all been questioned, investigated, celebrated. It's been overwhelming. Nods around the room. Everyone had dealt with the aftermath in their own way. The fame, the attention, the weight of what they'd accomplished. But today starts something new, Hana continued. The Resilience isn't a military vessel. It's not bound by command structure or political interests. We're independent, free to choose our own missions. Our own path. What will we do? Someone asked. We'll explore, Hana said. We'll help species in need. We'll investigate problems that others ignore. We'll be what humanity should be. Curious, brave, compassionate, strong when necessary, but always fair. She looked around the room, met each person's eyes. I won't lie to you. This will be dangerous. We'll make enemies. We'll face threats. Some of you might not survive, but what we do will matter. We'll make a difference. We'll show the galaxy what humans are capable of when we work together. We're with you, Yuna said firmly. All of us. That's why we're here, cheers erupted. Not forced, genuine. These people believed in the mission. Believed in Hana. Believed in themselves. Later, Hana found herself alone in her quarters. The captain's quarters, larger than what she'd had on the Constellation. But still modest. She didn't need luxury. Didn't want it. A notification appeared on her console. A secure communication request. From Admiral Somin. Hana hesitated. She hadn't spoken to Somin since the broadcast. Didn't know what to say to the woman who had ordered her abandonment. But curiosity won. She accepted the transmission. Somin appeared. She was on a colony world now. Far from Earth, far from politics. She looked peaceful. Content even, Hana, Somin said. I heard about your new ship. Your new mission. I'm proud of you. Thank you, Hana said carefully. How are you doing? I'm teaching, Somin replied. At a local academy, training the next generation of officers. It's good work. Meaningful. I wish I'd done it years ago instead of playing politics. Do you regret it? Hana asked. Everything that happened? Somin was quiet for a moment. I regret leaving you on Karvas 9 every single day, but I don't regret what came from it. The changes, the reforms, the exposure of the consortium. Maybe it was necessary. Maybe the galaxy needed to be shaken up. Maybe you were the only person strong enough to do it. That's not comfort, Hana said. That's rationalization. I know, Somin admitted. I'm trying to live with what I did, with the impossible choice I made. Some days are easier than others, she paused. But I wanted you to know something. What you've become, what you've accomplished. It's extraordinary. You took the worst thing that ever happened to you and turned it into something meaningful. That takes strength I never had. You had strength, Hana said. You just used it differently. Maybe, Soman said. Or maybe I was just a coward. Either way, I'm glad you survived. I'm glad you fought back. I'm glad you won, she smiled sadly. Take care of yourself, Hana, and take care of that crew. They'd follow you into hell if you asked. I know, Hana said. That's why I won't ask unless absolutely necessary. The transmission ended. Hana sat alone with her thoughts. 6 months ago, she'd been focused on revenge, on justice, on making people pay for what they'd done, but now she understood something different. Revenge was empty. Justice was complicated, but building something better, that was meaningful. That was worth fighting for. A knock on her door interrupted her thoughts. Dee entered without waiting for permission. They'd moved past formalities months ago. Can't sleep? He asked. Thinking, Hana replied, about everything that's happened. Everything that's changed. Regrets? Dee asked. Some, Hana admitted. I'm not the same person I was. The person you left on Karvos 9 is gone. Dead. I'm what survived. And sometimes I miss who I used to be. Who were you? Dee asked gently. Naive, Hana said. Optimistic. Believed people were fundamentally good. Believed following orders was enough. Believed the system worked? She laughed without humor. Karvos 9 killed all of that. And what replaced it? Dee asked. Understanding, Hana said. That good and evil aren't simple. That survival requires more than hope. That change requires sacrifice, she looked at Dee. That people are complicated. That you can understand someone's choices without forgiving them. That guilt and redemption are journeys, not destinations. You're talking about me, Dee said. And Soman. And myself, Hana replied. We've all made impossible choices. All lived with consequences. All tried to be better than we were. Have we succeeded? Dee asked. I don't know, Hana admitted. But we're trying. That has to count for something. They stood in silence for a while. Two survivors bound by shared trauma, by guilt and redemption, by a past they couldn't change and a future they were building together. There's something I've wanted to ask you, Dee said finally. That first night, when you appeared in my quarters, you said you wanted me to feel what you felt on Karvos 9. Confused, vulnerable, afraid. Did it work? Did you feel those things? Hana asked. Absolutely, Dee replied. Then yes, Hana said. It worked. But it was petty. Childish. I was angry. Hurt. Wanted you to suffer like I'd suffered. But suffering doesn't heal anything. Doesn't change anything. It just creates more pain. So why are you telling me this? Dee asked. Because I've moved past it, Hana said. The anger. The need for revenge. I don't blame you anymore. Don't blame Soman. Don't even blame the consortium, really. They were all just pieces in a larger game. Pawns making choices they thought were right. That's very forgiving of you, Dee said. It's not forgiveness, Hana corrected. It's understanding. They're different things. I understand why you left. Why Soman gave the order. Why the consortium saw us as threats. Understanding doesn't mean forgetting. Doesn't mean the pain goes away. But it means I can move forward. Can build something new instead of dwelling on something old. The Vareen taught you that? Dee asked. Life taught me that, Hana replied. The Vareen just gave me the tools to survive long enough to learn it. The ship's intercom activated. Captain Hana to the bridge, Jiho's voice called. We've received a distress signal. Colony ship in trouble. Pirates, they're asking for help. Hana and Dee exchanged glances. Our first mission, Dee said. Not exactly what I expected, Hana replied. But it's a start. They walked to the bridge together. The crew was already at their stations, ready, prepared, trusting. Report, Hana ordered. Colony ship Horizon, Jiho said, carrying 300 civilians. Under attack by raiders. Local authorities can't respond in time. They'll be captured or killed in less than an hour. How far? Hana asked. 30 minutes at maximum speed, Jiho replied. We can make it. But it'll be close. Then we go, Hana said without hesitation. Full speed. Battle stations. We're not letting anyone else be abandoned. The crew moved with practiced efficiency. The resilience turned. Accelerated. Jumped to light speed. In the captain's chair, Hana felt something she hadn't felt in 3 years. Purpose, not revenge. Not anger, just pure, simple purpose. She'd survived Carvos 9, she'd exposed the consortium, she'd changed the galaxy. But this was what mattered. Helping people, saving lives, being there when others needed her, being the person she wished had been there for her. The Resilience dropped out of light speed near the colony ship. 6 raider vessels surrounded it, weapons charged, demands being made. "This is Captain Hana of the Resilience," she broadcast on all channels. "You will cease your attack immediately, or you will face consequences." The raiders laughed. 6 ships against 1. They thought they had the advantage. They were wrong. The Resilience moved like a predator, fast, precise, every weapon system optimized. Every maneuver calculated. Hana fought the way the Varine had taught her. Not with overwhelming force, but with skill, intelligence, adaptation. Within 10 minutes, 3 raider ships were disabled. The others fled. The colony ship was safe. "Thank you," the captain of the Horizon transmitted. "You saved us." "Who are you?" "Just humans," Hana replied. "Doing what humans do. Helping those in need." "See,